ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. It's something that I personally have dealt with throughout my life, and I recently realized just how big of an impact that it has on many folks' sex lives. And even if you're not ADHD, you might find yourself dealing with some of the stuff that we're gonna get into today, from trouble orgasming to low libido to impulse control to struggling to remain present during sex. In this video, I'm gonna share 5 ways that ADHD could be impacting your sex life, as well as 5 simple and easy things that you can do about it to improve your sex life tonight. Before I begin, let me just make it clear, I'm a coach. In fact, you can work with me. You can apply to be coached by me and my team. That's what I do, in addition to make videos. What I am not is a therapist. And what I'm also not is an expert on this subject. But I do have experience working with clients with ADHD, and I have seen firsthand how it can affect someone's experience in the bedroom. So if you're not familiar, ADHD is a mental health condition characterized by hyperactivity, restlessness, impulsive actions, and trouble paying attention. It's more than just that, but we can paint broadly in this moment. It is a disorder that can interfere with a person's day-to-day life. It can affect relationships, work, self-esteem, and other important parts of what it looks like to be a human. I recently worked with a client, let's call him Timothy. He felt like ADHD was taking over his sex life. He was constantly distracted during sex with his girlfriend, and it went so far that he found himself planning his fantasy football team while eating her out. And that is the moment when he knew he had a problem and contacted me. Because here's the thing. It's not just the person with ADHD who's impacted. If you are struggling with one or more of the symptoms that I'm about to list, your partner is impacted too. I mean, how do you think it felt to be the woman getting eaten out while he was planning his lineup for this Sunday? The good news is that ADHD is manageable, and there are actually lots of positive aspects that having an ADHD brain comes with. Passion, focus. Actually, we can be really cool. We can be super creative, and life with us can actually be a really fun time. But that's only when we feel that things are being managed, acknowledged, celebrated, etc. So let's dive right in. Here are 5 ways that ADHD could be showing up in your sex life. Number 1, sexual hyperfixation. We know that ADHD folks tend to get pretty intensely focused and even fixated on the things that interest them. And when that thing happens to be sex, well, things can get extreme. If you find that you're hyperfixated on getting laid, like sex is all you can think about, and maybe it's even starting to feel obsessive or compulsive, by the way, this could be porn, not necessarily sex. This may be a sign that ADHD has entered the proverbial chat of your sex life. And because people with ADHD can struggle with impulse control, this can lead to sexual risk-taking. But on the upside, this can be a bit of a superpower too, because once you're in bed with someone ADHD, they may be able to turn that hyperfixation into passion and presence. Like they might be really interested in the work that we do here on this channel. They might be hyperfixated on being an amazing lover, delivering phenomenal orgasms. Make sure that you are subscribed if that's you, no matter what kind of brain you've got. Way that it can impact us. Number 2, difficulty orgasming. On the flip side of hyperfixation, it can be actually very difficult to be in the moment when your mind is running a million miles a minute. Many people with ADHD have reported some kind of sexual dysfunction, and difficulty orgasming is a big one. Because in order to come, you've got to be in the present moment. You've got to catch a wave of sensation. And if you're thinking about your quarterback's suspected tendon injury, I can't even read this sentence. I don't even know enough about football to have made this joke. It was bold of me to do this. If you're thinking about your quarterback's twisted ankle, you're probably gonna have a hard time tuning into the amazing sensations that your body is experiencing. I will not do any more sports metaphors today. Luckily, there are some simple ways to get back into the game. So make sure that you watch until the end of this video for all those. That brings me to number 3, you struggle with presence. The ADHD struggle with staying present doesn't just affect your ability to orgasm, it also affects everything leading up to and around it. And it can make things challenging for both you and your partner. In order to get into the bedroom at all, you've got to get into the mood, right? Longingly staring into each other's eyes, having deep and sensual conversations, sending flirty and sexy messages back and forth, not to mention foreplay itself. These are all things that someone must focus on and have some degree of attention and presence with in order to do. And it can be difficult for a person with ADHD to feel fully present with their partner or with what they're doing if their minds are racing. Partners can pick up on this. If your partner feels like you're not actually in the room with them, that can actually lead to a ton of breakdown and heartbreak and pain and missed opportunities in the bedroom. This brings me to number 4, self-medicating with sex. There have been a few studies that showed that people with ADHD might have higher sex drives than neurotypical folks. And anecdotally, it has become clear to me that when it comes to sex, people with ADHD just tend to operate in the extremes. There seems to be a kind of like all or nothing approach to sex when it comes to ADHD folks. Many people report either having no interest in sex at all, or it's all they can think about for a period of time and having nothing in the middle. People with ADHD also operate with lower levels of dopamine, which can lead to pleasure and reward-seeking behavior. It's one of the reasons that addiction can be an issue for folks with ADHD. And sex itself is such a dopamine-boosting activity. Many people with ADHD are prone to chasing sex for that high. And this can lead to compulsive choices. It can lead to risk-taking. It can lead to hypersexuality for people of all genders. Number 5, inability to switch gears. People with ADHD can have a hard time kind of changing their tune. Once their mind is tuned into something, it can take a lot for them to back up and change directions. But what does that mean for sex? Well, it means that getting into the mood can be a little bit more challenging. For example, with someone with ADHD. Say you just sat down at the end of the day and you're ready to play your video game, or you just got your nose buried into a book, and then your partner comes over and they invite you to play a little game of slap and tickle. Well, someone with ADHD may struggle to get into the spirit when their partner comes onto them. In fact, maybe you just got your attention finally focused on this thing, and now someone is coming along to disrupt you. That can be pretty upsetting, actually, even if you want to be sexual, even if you want to have sex with that person. You might feel like, oh, the conditions, they're not exactly right, and therefore I can't get into it. And this can be challenging for both folks with ADHD and their partners to deal with. And even though you may not mean it that way, your inability to get into the groove with them in that moment can sometimes feel like a rejection to your partners. So something to communicate about there. Absolutely none of these are insurmountable challenges. People with ADHD absolutely can and do have deeply connected, fulfilling sex lives. Trust me, as a person who may struggle with ADHD myself, I can relate to a lot of the challenges that I just listed. So how do I deal with them, and what do I recommend for my clients and anyone else who can relate? Number 1, open communication. Yeah, I know long-term listeners and subscribers to this channel will be like, what? Communication? No way, amazing. Communication is the first step to solving a vast majority of sexual and relationship challenges. And when it comes to this, no different. If you think that ADHD is impacting your sex life in any way at all, the first step is do your own research and then talk to your partner. Let them in on your experience. It will name the elephant in the room. It will ease the pressure. It will let them know that what you're dealing with has nothing to do with them or whether or not you're attracted. It is simply that your brain works a little bit differently. And hopefully your partner can understand, and even better, can start to work with you to figure out what works best for you. I actually found Reddit to be a great resource for making this video. There's a lot of anecdotal experiences, people explaining the various and very nuanced ways that ADHD has impacted them in their bedrooms. I promise you, this is a vast subject. It is not straightforward. Seeing how other people have moved through their experiences can be very helpful. All right, number 2, exercise. Regular exercise has been proven to reduce the symptoms of ADHD. I found that to be true for myself. And it has been found to reduce the symptoms of pretty much every other mental health issue on the planet. Exercise gets you connected to your body. It brings in good endorphins. It sharpens your focus. It improves feelings of presence and self-confidence. For me, it has made me feel way more at home in my body, more grounded, more effective at the things that I want to do on a day-to-day basis. None of us, I think, really always feel like getting our butts to the gym, but most of us once we're there, really, really benefit. And for me, totally appreciative. This was the best part of my whole day. Why didn't I want to do it again? As annoying as it can be, it f***ing works. It feels great. Get in there and work out in a way that works for you. All right, number 3, eliminate distractions. This may seem obvious, but when there's a lot going on, it is hard to tune into the presence that you need to have a great connected sexual experience. Try eliminating anything that can get in your way. That could be laundry, that could be kids asleep, that could be a movie or TV show happening on the television in the background. Do everything that you need to do to limit what could distract you in the moment. And by the way, many people with ADHD actually find that engaging in BDSM is great for their sex lives. From bondage, discipline, sadomasochism, and more, this kind of structure, not to mention high sensation, could be just what it takes to actually fully eliminate those distractions and get yourself in the present moment. It's not for everyone, but it can be fun. It doesn't have to be extreme. I'm just saying you may want to check it out. All right, number 4, get into the zone. Aside from eliminating distractions, many people with ADHD find that there are certain things that help them to quiet their mind, bring them back into the present, and help them focus. For example, many people report that music is super helpful, and this is something that I, for one, relate to. I often have music playing in the background while I'm working. I also like to eat some crunchy snacks because it gives me something else to do. Although I don't recommend bringing crunchy snacks necessarily into the bedroom. I mean, you do you, maybe you make it work. I just think crumbs, you know? Anyway, having a clean and organized space around me helps me to feel more organized on the inside as well. So whether it is fine-tuning your space for connection, throwing on a sexy playlist, create an environment where you can enter the focus zone along with your partner. And then finally, consider medication. Last but definitely not least, many people find that medication is extremely helpful for managing the symptoms of ADHD. And if that's something that you're interested in, there's no shame in it. I suggest you go talk to your doctor. I mean, anything that has improved the lives of countless people, including many who I know, including my client Timothy, is worth exploring. I am extremely proud to say that with the help of changing some of his dosage and what time of day Timothy was taking his medications with the help of his doctor, he was able to come to a place where he no longer fantasizes about football while he's got a mouthful of genitals, okay? And one of the things that helped him the most is that he typically was taking his medications in the morning, but having sex in the evening. And so his ability to focus was diminished late at night. He just needed to make some changes to his sexual routine, worked along with his partner and his doctor to figure out a way that helped him to feel his best. And he needed to prioritize and advocate for his sex life in order to do that. It is way too easy to say it doesn't really matter, it's just sex. That's not true. It does matter. Go out there, advocate for yourself. Write in the comments other things that I missed. Again, this subject is vast. It's very difficult to cover. The research that I did to even prepare for this video took me all over the internet, from scholarly articles to subreddits. So do your own research, see the things that resonate with you, know that you're not alone. Try the 5 items that I laid out in this video. We can all support each other in getting better at this, myself included. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Caitlin V, and I'll see you here next week.